Hey everybody, this is Olivia Rondo back at you again with another Political reaction video. Today we are looking at a CNN debate, and this is one of the very few people I can stand to even watch on CNN, Scott Jennings, talking about California about to lose some of its federal funding from the Trump administration. Let's see why. Let's see the reactions. I bet they're going to be good.
Well, I think they have good reason to go to war with California because they've done terrible things. The university system there, maybe worse than any other system in the country, terrorized Jewish kids, allowing for Jew exclusion zones on campus and refused to take responsibility for it. That's number one. They're violating the president's executive order and the administration's views on Title IX regarding boys playing girls' sports. And I'll give you a third one that's breaking tonight. The mayor of Los Angeles is saying she's not going to cooperate with the Department of Homeland Security and ICE as they try to round up illegal aliens. And so you have a state right now being run by a bunch of people who do not want to comply with clear federal law and clear federal mandates, and somebody needs to confront them. The president is doing it.
I agree with you, Scott, about your diagnosis of California's problems. And I mostly do. And I don't know anyone, including Californians, who think that that state is being run well. I don't. But this is an affront to states' rights. This is big government. This isn't conservatism, and we don't have to relitigate whether he's conservative. He's not. He doesn't care. That's fine. This is not the way government should work, punishing children, fire victims, flood victims, to make a political point. And so even if we agree with your issues with California, do you really think that this is the best way, this blunt object that is both personal and political, is the way to force California's hand on this?
I do think the confrontation is necessary, but I'll take one part of your argument that I think is worth discussing, and that's the idea of states' rights. So you're saying that in the name of states' rights, we should allow the California university system to set up Jew exclusion zones because they believe it's okay as a state?
No, I granted you those
Then is the confrontation not worth having on behalf of those students alone?
Look, the confrontation is Donald Trump saying adopt MAGA values.
It's not MAGA values. It's not MAGA values. They're literally just saying, first of all, you must comply with federal law. What does that mean? Okay, no men in girls' sports, no men in the women's locker rooms, no men in women's teams and women's spaces. You know, that's something that used to be common sense. I mean, even the majority of Democrats support no men on women's teams, no boys on girls' sports. It's an issue that basically only the wealthy elite liberals who don't have to deal with this care about. They don't have girls and they don't have daughters that have been forced to compete against boys. So there's that. I mean, it's just an issue of privilege and being out of touch. But, you know, the college anti-Semitism, even now, this is a perfect time to talk about the Los Angeles riots that are ongoing. At the time of this recording, it's Monday. They've been ongoing since at least Thursday or Friday last week, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse. Dozens of arrests. Trump has now deployed the National Guard, and Gavin Newsom has said that we are suing, the state of California is suing the Trump administration for, quote unquote, illegally, unlawfully deploying the National Guard. Trump has every right to deploy the National Guard when people are rioting against ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement officials, rioting against police officers. They have severely injured police officers in police cars, and it's like 2020 Black Lives Matter riots all over again. I don't see the issue here. So anyways, if Mayor Karen Bass in Los Angeles and Governor Gavin Newsom don't want to comply with just following the federal rule of law, then you don't get federal funding. That's not a states' rights issue. That's comply with the law, and then you will get some of our hard-earned tax dollars. Because, I mean, the federal funding comes from everybody who pays taxes. So me over here on the East Coast, I'm paying my taxes. So what? It can go to Gavin Newsom so he could pay more lawyers to litigate and do lawfare against the Trump administration because he doesn't want to follow immigration law. It's ridiculous. Let's keep going.
Or I'm going to punish you by taking
federal dollars away. It's not MAGA values to eradicate anti-Semitism. It's not MAGA values to protect girls.
You're picking issues.
It's not MAGA values to deport illegal aliens. It's just American law and American values.
And Donald Trump doesn't care about it.
I'm not disagreeing with your issues with California. I don't think this is the right way to do it. And I think 5 or 6 years ago, you wouldn't have either. Because you also believed in conservatism.
Five or 6 years ago, I couldn't have imagined
I don't know about 5 or 6
things
years
like
ago.
that.
I would say maybe like 1.5 years ago. But
Maybe.
But I mean, look, I think that SC raises a very important point.
What do you mean by that?
SC raises
1.5 years ago or 5 years, I would not have condoned a state or a university
hold on a second.
terrorizing
Hold on a
Jewish
second.
kids. I absolutely would never have condoned
the issues
that.
with
And I don't condone it today.
The issues with anti-Semitism on college campuses are very serious and very important. But SC is asking a very important and basic question. Is this the best way to rectify that problem? Do you think that there is in these times, and perhaps all the time, a failure to put yourself in the shoes of the other party here, right? Not just political party, the other side of any particular argument. Sure. So, to Bakari's point, if a Democratic president decided to withhold all federal funds for the state of Texas because they banned abortion, would you be okay with that?
You're comparing abortion laws to Jew exclusion zones at UCLA?
I am saying that any...
That's still within federal law. Roe v. Wade was overturned to give the states rights. The right to decide on abortion went back to the states, so that would not be illegal if Texas decides to do whatever they want with abortion. So it's really not a one-to-one comparison when California and Los Angeles are actively defying federal immigration law. It doesn't matter if it's President Trump. President Obama, we forget that he actually deported more people than President Trump did in his first term. So if Obama, who was once known as the great deporter back in his time in office, if California was defying Obama's immigration law, I would say Obama has the right to refuse funding California, to take some of California's federal funds as well. It's not big government overreach to say we're removing government money from this state because you guys aren't following the law. It's just a ridiculous argument. Abby Phillip, I'm not a fan of her. I think she's often wrong, but she's usually, at least in my opinion, makes a better effort to be honest. And that was just completely a dishonest comparison because it wouldn't be illegal or against the law for Texas to do whatever they want with abortion. Ban it, don't ban it, whatever.
Particular issue. It doesn't matter what the issue is, that a president decides, your party, the Democratic Party, decides is important enough that they want to withhold federal funds from a state. Would you be okay with it? I think that's the fundamental question.
Are laws passed by legislatures. Anti-Semitism and radicalism on college campuses designed to terrorize Jewish kids are not laws. It's just radicals on campuses that are allowed to get away with it in blue states.
Hold on, that's a great point.
That's a totally different argument.
They are not laws. They are actions of individuals who should be punished. But you are acting as if they are laws and trying to punish the entire state for it.
I'm acting as though the state and the university system run by the state has condoned it. They clearly have, and they've fostered it. They've fomented it.
I don't know a lot about the specificities of the college anti-Semitism in California. What I will say, though, is it does kind of bother me a little bit that there is so much focus on pulling funds for this issue. While it is a serious issue, it's a relatively small issue compared to the monstrosity of California government and taxpayer mismanagement. I mean, I guess my point is, what would be a better point, what would be a better argument would be the billions and billions and billions of dollars, taxpayer dollars, that California loses. If you guys want to look up how much money that the state of California lost for a multi-billion dollar homelessness program. They don't have the results for that program. They don't know where the money was spent. They don't know where it ended up, and they have literally nothing to show for it. So there's a bunch of examples of just government greed, corruption, and bureaucracy in California that I think you can make a lot of other arguments for not giving them federal tax dollars because they don't know what to do with it. In terms of funding colleges, I mean, just anything DEI related, they should have just taken that out to begin with. So yeah, the college anti-Semitism, I'll have to look up more specific issues on that. I know I've definitely seen examples at Columbia and Harvard, some of schools here on the East Coast, but I just feel like there's so many, I think Scott makes good points here, but I think there's so many other points to bring up for the case of revoking California's federal funding. What do you guys think? I'm definitely for the case of, I mean, I don't want to fund them, okay? I don't want to fund California. I don't want to fund any of these, like, far left states and cities that don't obey federal law. You know, regardless of who's in office, immigration law needs to be enforced. The riots are ridiculous. Build the wall, deport them all that good stuff. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and please like, share, and subscribe to Political, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.